we were and we were able to, sorry, that distracted me. We were
Sorry.
able to, it's okay. We were able to put on like a live newscast. And so there I started, I was the entertainment reporter, and I did all entertainment news, and I did it all in Spanish because I always knew that I wanted to do my career, and I wanted to choose my path in Spanish because I grew up watching Telemundo, I grew up watching Univision, and so when I would watch the news, when I would watch entertainment shows, I watched them all in Spanish. And I always knew that I wanted to head in that direction, and I wanted to be a voice for the Hispanic community. So, like I said, I did that little newscast in college, was the host for our entertainment segment, did everything celebrities, Kardashians, Hispanic celebrities. So if you guys know Maluma, Daddy Yankee, all those people, I talked about all those people. Then they wanted me to do hard news, which I was super nervous for because I swore that when I wanted to go into this career, I wanted to only do entertainment news. So they put me as the anchor of the show. And that was something different. But it was super fun. It was super exciting. And then I got it in a really interesting time because it was during the pandemic. So obviously there was a lot of news going on there. Um, and I got to follow closely the pandemic and the records of deaths and infections and everything that was happening day by day. The Cuban community is really big here in South Florida. And so they, about 2 years ago, they did these protests claiming or asking for freedom in their country because they live in a communist country. They don't have freedom of speech like we do. They don't have a lot of the things that we do. And that was history for Cuba because in Cuba, you're not allowed to protest, you're not allowed to have manifestations. And so that was a very big news story here, and we covered it here. And that was really cool to get to cover that and to get to see something that impacts that culture so greatly. Then after that, I graduated, and my time being on air, on TV, on in college ended, and I struggled so much to find a job on air, and or not on air, but in the news world. And I knew I wanted to do Telemundo or Univision. Like I was not open to any other options. I did not want to do anything in English. I wanted to only do Spanish, and I couldn't find a job. I couldn't find a job. Nobody was calling me back for an interview. Nobody was. I would get like the automatic interview or replies to my emails that would say, "Oh, thank you so much for submitting your resume, but we're gonna go a different route with our hiring process." And I remember sitting down with my mom. I graduated in May of 2022. And I remember sitting down with my mom, and I told her, I was like, I don't think this is for me. I think maybe I dreamt too big, and I I have to be realistic. This isn't for me. Maybe God doesn't want this for me. Maybe I'm meant to go a different route. Maybe I'm meant to continue the family business. And this is God's way of telling me to do that. And that's why I'm not getting any callbacks. So when she told me that, I can't make this story up. I was literally watching something on Telemundo with her. And I was watching one of the news anchors, and I was just looking at her, and I was like, oh my God, like she got to complete her goal. She reached her dream and I didn't. And literally, right as that thought crossed my mind, I got a call from Telemundo. I got a call from Telemundo, and they said, "Hi, would you be interested in a producer position here at Telemundo in Miami?" And I remember I was just like so in shock. And I remember wanting to say no because I had told my mom that I was going to work for her. And so I felt bad. I was like, how do I tell my mom that I'm working for her and now I'm going to leave? Um, and I wanted to say no, but the no wouldn't come out. I said yes. And I did my whole interview process. And August of 2022, I was hired for Telemundo and I was working as a producer. And I say that because I think sometimes we get so worked up and we think, oh my God, it's not coming fast enough. And back then in that moment, I felt like it was ages. I was like, oh my God, I've been without a job forever. I'm such a failure. I graduated college and I have no job. All my friends are getting hired. Why not me? And in reality, when you look back, it was only 2 months. I graduated in May, and in August, I had 3 months. And in August, I already had a job. So it just takes time. You have to be patient, especially in this industry that's so cutthroat and that things do take time. So yeah, that leads to my next slide. Um, I started in August at Telemundo51. So that is your local station for Miami. Every big station has a local station. So you have your national newscast and you have your local newscast. Your national newscast is ones that I'm sure a lot of you guys watch. I don't know if your families watch Telemundo or Univision or any news channel. Yeah, I'm seeing some nods. That's awesome. Keep watching news. It's really important. Um, and so you have your national newscast, and you're going to have those anchors that we all see, that I know, we all know them. And then you have your local newscast. That's just, for example, when I lived in Vancouver, there was Univision Portland, and there was Univision and only the anchors for Portland. We only see those girls and guys in Portland. So here I work in Telemundo, but I work for Telemundo51, which is the Miami local station. So while there are important things that happen on the national level, we focus more on the local level and things that are impacting South Florida, because for national news, things that have to do with the president, things that have to do with immigration laws that affect the entire United States as a whole, we leave that to the national network. And so yeah, that's been my I spent a whole year working for Telemundo51. I live in South Florida, so I got to cover hurricanes. Hurricanes are really big here. Hurricane season is huge. I got to cover hurricanes. When the World Cup came along, that was one of my favorites. Telemundo was the official channel of the World Cup. If you wanted to watch it in Spanish, if you wanted to watch it in English, you could watch it in NBC. So I don't know if any of you guys are soccer fans, and if any of you guys saw that Argentina won this past year. We got to see Messi win, and we covered that, which was a really big deal. I also got to cover the Nicholas Cruz trial, which was a very big deal here in South Florida. It was the Parkland High School shooting, which was the deadliest mass shooting here in the United States for high schoolers, which was a very big deal because we got to see his sentencing and if he was either going to get life or the death penalty, which is sad to talk about, but very important things that are affecting our country, and things that we should be knowledgeable about and know. I've also had fun moments in Telemundo. I've got to meet a lot of celebrities. If you guys watch novelas, or if your parents watch novelas, I don't think you guys watch novelas, but if your parents do, I've gotten to meet some celebrities from novelas. I've gotten to meet some singers. I've gotten to meet actors. So yeah, that's the fun thing about working in Miami, is that a lot of celebrities live here. So when it comes to entertainment news, we get a lot of it. But yeah, that's pretty much my life. That's how I got to where I am today. I live in Miami now, but unfortunately, I'm gonna be moving to Texas. Or not unfortunately, let me not say that. I'm gonna be moving to Texas in a few weeks because I actually got a job offer as a reporter. So I'm gonna be on air and giving the news to everybody in Austin, Texas. I'm excited. It's a new city. I've never lived in Texas, but they have a lot of good stories there that are happening, a lot of good uh, topics, especially when it comes to immigration. And those are things that affect us all as Hispanics and as the Latino community. So it's going to be fun to be able to shed light on those issues. I'm sad to leave Miami. Miami's been my home for almost 6 years. This was my school. This is what's taught me everything in terms of being a journalist. But had I not gone through here and gone through this path, I would not have gotten this job that I wanted. And I say that because remember I told you guys a year ago I thought I was going to quit. I wasn't going to do this job, and I told my mom I give up. This isn't meant for me. It takes time. Only a year later, I'm here. I only graduated a year ago, and I'm already going to get an on-air position. So it's really exciting, and just because it's happening slow doesn't mean it's not going to happen. So don't give up on your guys' goals and on what you guys want to do, and don't ever think that something is too big. At one point I thought that my dream was too big and that I was never going to be on TV, but here I am, and in a month I'll be on TV, so I'm super excited. So that's a little bit of me. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me anything, and I'll be very honest and I'll answer everything. No question is a dumb question. It could be anything. It could be super personal. It could be about work, and I will answer it.
Thank you, Francheska. I liked what you said about just because it's going slow doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And I think the example of just before you thought you might be done, you see signs of things that might tell you that your pathway is just now opening up, and it's exciting. And I have no doubt that we will probably see you on some national level news at one point. We'll be like, we know her, we met her.
I sure hope. I sure hope. It's really hard, but I hope so. Everybody's been telling me that, so I don't know if everybody's manifesting it for me.
That's all right. Maybe you deserve that. So we do have questions that we've prepared.
Perfect.
I'm just going to remind them that when your peers come up to ask questions, that you are actively listening, right? Which means that if I'm talking, I'm not able to actively listen. Okay. So it will help the sound so that Francheska can hear us okay. I mean, she's zooming in from across the country, so internet on our end can also be kind of bad. So I'm going to let my first two are Liana and Esther. They'll just make their way up here.
Hello, guys.
And if you come up with other questions that you think, now that you've listened to her tell you a little bit about her background and history, that you think, oh, I have other questions, then feel free to ask, reminding yourself that they're school appropriate, right? Respectful to this person who's taking time out of her professional day to spend with us. Okay. All right. Make sure you introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Liana.
Get to talk loud.
Hi, I'm Liana, and I have a question for you. How much do you make? How much do you get paid in a month?
You hear that? Okay.
How much do I get paid in a month? Yes, I heard. How about this? I live very comfortably. Does that answer your question?
No.
No? You want to know
So
numbers?
she's comfortable, which means that she probably doesn't have to worry about what she spends, or if she wants to get something.
I make enough money here. How about this? I make enough money where I can pay my rent, I can pay my bills, but keeping in mind that I do come out on TV, I do want to make sure that I look nice and I look appropriate. So monthly bills for me include my hair, include my nails, include fun aesthetic things for girls that people might be like, oh, those are just like fun things that you want to get done. But no, I do count them as my bills because I do have to take care of my image and my appearance. So I make enough where I can splurge on my nails, I can splurge on my makeup, I can splurge on my hair, on my clothes, because we got to look nice for the people that are watching us, right? And I also have to live well, and I have to buy myself food. I have to buy make sure my house and everything is in order. So I make enough where I'm comfortable. A lot of times people are going to tell you that journalism doesn't pay well. I disagree with that. I think everything in life is relative, and I think we have to you have to measure what are you doing? When people tell me, oh, I don't make enough, and you're like the head anchor, I think that's a lie. I think that's that you're not knowing how to manage your money well enough, you know, because I manage mine well. I'm happy with my salary. I don't have to ask for a raise because I don't feel underpaid. I think anytime when you feel underpaid, then that's when you should fight for your rights to ask for more money. But as of now, I don't feel underpaid. That has not happened to me, thank God. And I do live comfortably. But if it's a career path that you're thinking of and people tell you, oh, that doesn't make money, don't listen to that. I think my mom and I would always talk about this growing up. Like, I had a cousin who wanted to be a hairstylist. And her mom was like, why would you want to be a hairstylist? You're not going to make any money. And I think everything is how you look at it. Like, you don't know how successful she's going to be as a hairstylist. You don't know if she does something so well and a celebrity asks for her to be her hairstylist. Now, when you're a celebrity's hairstylist, you're going to be making millions of dollars a year, you know, because you're taking care of a public figure. So never degrade a job and never think that something isn't a good enough of a career. My mom started as a cashier in McDonald's, and now she's a very successful business owner. Um, so never degrade a job and never think that, oh, because I'm making $10 an hour, that you can't make more in the future.
Introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Esther, and what is your favorite interview you ever had?
What's my favorite interview that I've ever had?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. So again, when we covered the Parkland High School shooting, and we got to interview the parents that were affected by the mass shooting, that they were the parents of the victims. And it's very sad what happened, but it's something that marked history in the United States. And to get to be a part of that in a way and to get to speak to them about it, I think is really powerful. It's really cool. Obviously, I don't wish for that to happen to anybody. It's horrible, but getting to talk to them in person and getting to meet them and getting to like, it's different seeing an interview on TV versus like seeing the person's feelings and what they're going through in person. It hits on a different level. And so I would say, as of now, that would be my favorite interview that we've done. There's a bunch of other people that I would love to interview and that I have on my list of goals of who I want to interview. And hopefully that'll happen one day.
Can I ask a follow-up question then?
Yeah.
Can you tell us who your biggest wish would be to interview right now?
My biggest wish.
Besides your kindergarten teacher, of course.
I would say I have two. So one, I don't know if any of you guys, maybe your parents, listen to his music. Romeo Santos is my number one person that I would love to interview. I think he's very successful. His career, he's very into his career. I've never seen a celebrity so obsessed with their career and so like into it. Like it's a whole nother level. His way of writing music, it's very poetic. It's very it's you think the person who wrote that song has to be so smart because the metaphors he uses, the symbolism he uses in his songs, it's really cool. I think it's also really cool because unfortunately the music industry is going not the best route. There's very explicit songs out there, very inappropriate songs out there, and to see somebody so not explicit and pretty respectful and conservative in his songs is really nice. He is one of the biggest stars in the Spanish speaking music industry, yet he's never won a Grammy. And I would love to ask him that question, and I would love to ask them if that's something that he cares about or if he doesn't. And so I would love to do that. And other than that, I'm somebody that I really love, other than entertainment, I really love crime stories, as weird as it sounds. And there's a really big case going on back in Idaho about these 4 college students that passed away. And I would love to sit down with the suspect and I would love to ask him questions. I love crime in a weird way, and I would love to sit down with those people and just what goes on in their mind and what makes them make the decisions that they do and make the choices that they make. Not good ones, unfortunately. But as a journalist, there's 2 sides to every story and we have to get them. And I would love to sit down and talk to him.
Can I have one more question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your worst interview?
Oh, good question.
What's my worst interview? I don't think I've had a worst interview. Actually, no, that's a lie. I remember. Oh my gosh. It was for college. It was a college project. And it was just the boringest interview ever. And if I felt like I was pulling teeth, like I'm not gonna say who it is just for respect of the person, but it wasn't a fun interview, and it was because I think it was also because I wasn't really interested on the topic. I'll admit, maybe I was a part of the problem. Um, I wasn't really interested in the topic, and what he was like fighting for and what he stood for, I didn't really agree with. Um, so that wasn't a fun interview. I always say journalists' best work is when you can tell that they're passionate about the topic that they're talking about. Um, so yeah, but I'm like I said, I'm not gonna say his name because I feel bad, but it wasn't a fun interview. It was just boring. And he wasn't a bad guy. Many blessings to him and I wish him well. It's just chemistry wasn't there.
Okay. Thank you.
Gracias.
Of course, thank you.
And then we have Abby.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Abby, and I have a few questions. Do you get scared when you're on camera?
No. I don't get scared because it's always something I wanted to do. However, I will say you do get a little bit of an adrenaline, right? It's like, oh my God, I'm about to go on in 10 seconds, you know? But I wouldn't say it's like this nervousness to the point where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna throw up. No. But you do get a little nervous in the sense that it's like you want you want to do your job right, you know? It's you want to do your job right, you want to make sure that the person is understanding what you're telling them. So yeah, there's a little bit of nervousness. I think so when I say no that I don't get scared, let me rephrase that. It's more like no, I don't get scared because I like no, I like being on camera and I like it. So if you were to tell me, Francheska, you have to do this and it has to be on camera, I'll do it. But the moment leading up to like when I'm gonna do my presentation, you do get a little nervous. I think if you don't get nervous, it means you don't care. So you do get a little bit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I have Veronica.
Hi, Veronica. I love that name.
Hi. Voy a hacer mis preguntas en español.
Dale, cómo no.
Sí. ¿Cuáles fueron tus, o sea, perdón, es que es difícil. Um, ¿Puedes describir cómo es tu trabajo?
Ok, so yo me levanto, te voy a decir mi trabajo en Telemundo y después te voy a decir un poquito de cómo va a ser mi trabajo en Univisión, ¿ok?
Okay.
En Telemundo yo era productora. So, ¿qué es lo que yo hago como productora? Como productora, yo llegaba a la estación, me decían, estas son las historias del día. Hubo un tiroteo en Miami, hubo un incendio en Hialeah y Donald Trump va a venir para Miami a dar un discurso. Yo sé que esas tres historias son importantes y las tengo que poner en mi noticiero. De ahí yo parto y yo digo, de los reporteros que yo tengo, ¿quién puede tener esta historia? ¿Quién me la va a hacer mejor? A lo mejor yo tengo un reportero que su especial es política, entonces yo lo voy a asignar a hablar de la historia de Donald Trump. También yo tengo que pensar qué es lo más importante para mi comunidad. No es que un tiroteo no sea importante, pero un tiroteo ocurre todos los días. Entonces, vamos a abrir con Donald Trump porque es un expresidente. Sea que nos guste cómo él fue como presidente o no, es una figura pública, fue el grande de esta nación por 4 años, así que hay que, como quien dice, darle ese respeto y poner que él está llegando a la ciudad de Miami. Y ahí uno tira el show al aire y ellos ven y ya tú estás en vivo. Le tengo que decir a este reportero, mira, es tu turno para hablar. Le tengo que decir a los presentadores, ahora tú eres el que tienes que hablar, etcétera. Ya cuando se termina el show, ya yo terminé mi show, ya yo terminé mi día de trabajo. Como reportera, yo me levanto por las mañanas, mi jefa me llama y me asigna una historia, me dice, hubo un incendio en tal ciudad. Yo tengo que ir a ese lugar, tengo que ver hay víctimas, el policía tiene información, el policía me va a hablar, me va a decir, mira, esta es la información que tenemos, hubo 5 heridos, 2 que fallecieron, todo eso. Voy a la escena, ya que yo tengo toda mi información, todas las personas que me iban a hablar me hablaron, yo grabo imágenes de la escena y ahí yo me tengo que poner a editar mi reportaje. Ahí yo edito mi reportaje, ahí yo te digo la cifra de los heridos, de los muertos, ya que tengo mi reportaje hecho, entonces tengo que ir al aire. Y ahí voy al aire, me paro con mi micrófono, mi cámara, estoy lista. Por el oído me van a decir, es tu turno para hablar y ahí yo hablo. Esta noche hubo un incendio, hubieron 5 heridos, 2 muertos, hasta ahora es la única información que sabemos, regreso con ustedes. Y ya yo terminé. Y ya, y ese es mi día en el trabajo.
Muy bien. Bueno, eso es todo. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Sí.
And then I have Meg.
Hi.
Hi.
Question.
What is your first goal over the years? Like, what did you set for yourself?
I think I have 2 goals. One, I'm a reporter now. I would love to be an anchor. Once you're an anchor, you're the one who's at the studios, you're at the desk, you're the face of the newscast. And I would love to win an Emmy. That's my second goal. An Emmy is that's like the Grammys or the Oscars of TV. So you'll have a lot of newscast wins Emmys, a lot of TV shows that win Emmys. But as a journalist, you can also win an Emmy. And how do you win an Emmy is by having an impactful story, a story that impacted viewers, that impacted your community. So I guess my goal is to be a very good journalist, to be able to have a really good story so I can win an Emmy. I would love to win one.
Okay. I also have another question.
Mm-hmm.
How long does it take to become a reporter?
So I was in college for 5 years. I was only in college for 5 because I transferred and my credits didn't transfer. Had I just stayed in one college, I would have been done in 4 years. So I graduated when I was 23. Yeah, I graduated when I was 23 instead of 22. And then I graduated in May of 2022, got my first job in August of 2022. I've been a year with Telemundo, and then I knew that even though I enjoyed my job as a producer, I knew that I wanted to be on air and that I wanted to be a reporter, that was what I enjoyed more. So throughout my year in Telemundo, I made sure to practice a lot. I made sure to work on my on camera skills because that's something that they look at the moment of hiring you. And I applied for the job in October. Yeah, so like this past month. And within a week, I knew that I was already hired. So let's say to be a reporter, it took me a year.
Okay, I have a last question.
Mhm.
Are you proud with your job?
Am I proud of my job? Yes, I am proud of my job. I think there's times when you want so much in life that you forget to see all that you've accomplished. And I admit I am one of those. I live always thinking in the future. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm a reporter, but I'm not married yet. Or, okay, yeah, I'm doing this, but I'm not a mom yet. Or, yeah, I'm doing this, but I'm not in a super big market, things like that. And if you live comparing yourself all the time, you don't have the time to say, okay, but look at what I've done. And I'm proud of what I've done so far. And I don't say this to brag, I say it for uh you have to give credit to yourself. And I'm only 24 and I've already worked for the 2 biggest Spanish speaking channels in the US. And so when I look at it from that point, I'm like, okay, no, yes, and I should be proud of what I've done and everything that I've accomplished. And again, I think you get sidetracked because you think, oh, it's taking so long, I'm never gonna get there. But it does get there, and your moment does come. We just have to be patient. And every little accomplishment is a big accomplishment. Nothing is, oh, but it's just this. No, that's everything is worth celebrating.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, we have about 5 minutes left in our class, so I've told the rest of them they can ask one quick question that have it. So I have Noe here.
Hi.
Hi.
So like, how old were you when you got your job?
I was 23 when I got my first job on TV.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Jose.
I can say it in Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I missed it. Okay.
Go ahead.
Mi nombre es José. Tengo 13 años. Te voy a decir una sola pregunta. ¿Cuál es tu jugador favorito?
Mi jugador favorito de fútbol.
Ya.
Ah, pues Lionel Messi.
Ah.
¿Cuál es tu jugador favorito?
Ronaldo, pero ya.
Ah, no, Messi. Los dos son muy buenos.
Muchas gracias.
A ti, mi amor.
And then I have Kevin.
Hola.
Hola.
What celebrities have you met?
What celebrities have I met? I've met Giancarlos Canela. I don't know if you guys know who he is. I've met, if you're, ask your moms. I'm sure your moms have watched a novela called Sin Senos No Hay Paraíso. I played the actor that, I met the actor that plays El Titi, perdón. I've met Clarissa Molina. She is a reporter for El Gordo y la Flaca. I've met Maluma. I don't know if you guys know who that is. I've met Carlitos Ayán. He's also another reporter for Telemundo. Yeah, a lot of the celebrities I've met are Spanish speaking. So those are the ones that I can remember now. I met Cardi B's cousin. I don't know if that's cool.
That's cool. I think that's
Yeah.
cool. Okay. And I have Alejandro. Do you have a question to ask? Do you remember your
Yes.
question?
What are the celebrities you met?
I'm sorry?
What are the celebrities have you met? Oh,
She just told you the people that she's met that are. Yeah. You want to think about it?
It's okay.
Okay, Matthias, do you remember your question?
Yeah. I almost died.
Hi.
What's your favorite celebrity you have met?
My favorite celebrity that I met. I really liked meeting Giancarlos Canela. He was super nice. I was like obsessed with him when I was like 15. So it was really nice. It was like my little 15-year-old self was super happy.
Thank you.
That's adorable. All right, Marco, do you want to ask your question?
So how did you get your job? How did you?
How did I get my job?
Yeah.
So like I said, I knew I wanted to work for Telemundo or Univision. So I was like applying like crazy. There's an app that we use a lot. It's called LinkedIn. And I would see all the job postings there. And I would just send out my resume. I would just send out my resume like crazy. And I would wait for responses. Sometimes I wouldn't get any. Sometimes I would just be told no without even an interview. And like I said, my current boss called me. She was like, "Are you interested in the position?" I said yes. I had an interview process. About 3 weeks later, they called me for a second interview. And after that second interview, I got my final answer. And that's how I got into Telemundo. And it was very similar to the process for Univision.
Okay, I think we have one. He was thinking of his question, so I'm going to go back to Alejandro. Do you have a question there that you remember?
This one's this one.
You just say it loud so that she can hear.
Oh, what is your favorite place to go?
My favorite place to go? I love to go to Puerto Rico. That's where I'm from. I love to visit my family there. I didn't go for a long time because of the pandemic, so I hadn't gone for 5 years when I used to go every year. And I got to go this past year for the first time in 5 years, and it was so much fun. I loved it. Like I said, I have family there. It's my culture, it's my food, it's my music, it's my people. So regardless of the fact that I was raised in the United States my whole life, I'm very in tune with my culture, and it's something that I'm very proud of. It's even though I wasn't raised there, I feel very much from there. And I think that's something that I encourage to all of you, that don't lose contact with your home country. It's something that's really beautiful. Don't lose, English is important and it's awesome to learn English, but don't lose your Spanish or your any other language that you guys speak. I dream in two languages, I think in two languages, I do everything in two languages, um, because I never lost that touch with my culture, and it's what's been able to open so many doors for me. Although I do everything in Spanish, a lot of the times they do ask me to do things in English, you know. And so never lose touch with your culture and with your country and with your language, because that's going to open a lot of doors for you guys in the future.
What do you
Thank
say?
you so much. Thank you.
So, thank you, Francesca. I adore you. I think you're an amazing human being.
Thank
And
you.
I will email you and see if I can get an address so that we can send you something.
For sure.
And in the meantime, travel safe.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.